I am an Android developer and trainer. I have more than 7 years of experience in Android application development. I've also worked on some BlackBerry apps. I have also worked on some backend apps, Java backend apps, and I try to learn new technologies. Even these days, I am learning at least two technologies. That is, one of them is Node.js. So this is our every software developer's actual job to learn every day, to try to learn every any new thing every day, right? So I have in my previous organization, I have worked as lead engineer. Now I am working independently. I'm handling some projects independently, and I am also doing corporate trainings. Regarding my development experience, I have worked on mobile applications for various domestic and overseas clients, countries from US, Europe, Dubai. I've created applications for major players in e-commerce, music, entertainment, and food tech domain, and also some hospitality domain. Notable apps that I have worked on include Wink Music app from Airtel, Home Shop 18 app for Home Shop 18 channel, Sydney Airport official app, a crew app for American Airlines, uh, one uh, one app dealing in stock market for Kitco Inc., which is a major stock market player in US. Then some apps for MobiCart nearby and some personal projects also. Uh, in Android, I have because I've been working for so long. I have experience in almost every module, every part of Android. The Android is very vast operating system. When you start working in Android, you get to work in different parts. You can work on hardware level. You can work with GPS sensors, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. You have to work with UI. Will have to create very good UI screens. So you will enjoy this, right? I have good experience in designing and implementing different modules. Yeah. So my training, regarding my training experience, because being one of the earliest Android developer, because I started Android development in 2009, and this was the year when Android was, came into the when Android came into the market at that year, right? So, being one of the earliest Android developer, since the start, I contributed in building up mobile teams in various organizations, and I have also delivered trainings and conducted conferences. I would request everyone to be on mute, please, if no one is talking. You can unmute yourself, and you can, whenever you have to ask any question or share something, you can at that time unmute yourself, right? This will help us to avoid unnecessary noise. Okay. So I have also hosted many knowledge exchange sessions in organizations and attended DroidCon in Bangalore as speaker. So this DroidCon in conference happens every year in Bangalore. This is the annual Android conference, India edition. You can also attend this if you are enthusiastic about what is happening in Android every year. These are some of the apps I've worked upon. Wing PLC, Home Shopping, nearby Kitco, Mobicart, Sydney Airport, etc. I'm associated with Google for the Train the Trainer program in India. As you might have heard about this program, Google is Google has this ambitious plan to train 2 million Android developers in next 3 years, specifically from India only. So this is a huge plan from Google. So under this plan, as everyone knows, India is population wise, India is the second biggest country, and engineering colleges wise, it is at the top spot. So every year, around or more than 25 lakh people graduate from different engineering colleges, right? So there is a huge workforce available in India, but there's a gap. The gap is that not every engineering college is good. So not every person who is graduating from this college is very skillful, that we all know, right? They have to undergo some course even after BTech or BE or MCA be to be skillful, right? So Google is knows that. Google knows this situation, and Google is trying to fill that gap. So under this program, we are training college faculties and university staff we are training them in Android. We are giving them a training on how to train other students, right? We have also I have also helped in making the syllabus and creating the content for the training. I'm also associated with a CAT Guild for corporate workshops and online training to the students. My training style, uh, first thing is I try to keep my sessions as interactive as possible. I don't want my sessions to be like a regular college lecture, right? I try to make this session, entertaining and useful at the same time. Yes, students tend to get bored in these technical sessions, right? That is general thing, right? Learning a new technology is not that much fun, that we all know. Seeing someone playing guitar is cool and fun, but when you pick that guitar and when you try to learn that first chord, and you spend like 3 or 4 days just to just to properly play that particular chord, and then you spoil your fingers also. So then we realize that learning something cool is not that much cool, right? So same with the technology, same with the Android. But yes, I try to keep my session as much fun as it is possible. So for that, I need your help also. I would request everyone to keep asking me questions, as many questions as possible. Any general question about Android, I would welcome that, right? And also, I try to ask questions. So be prepared with my surprise questions in every session, in every few minutes. I try to give more stress on practicals, right? I would request everyone to do hands-on even during the session or even after the sessions. Do your assignments, and uh, and apart from that, I share my own experiences with apps and issues related to them, because I have good experience in resolving bugs, in handling issues. So try to share my own experience. I also help students in cracking interviews and making their own apps. So that's it. Any questions so far? Anything? Thank you, Shashank. Uh, okay, let's start. I hope everyone who is here, they know the importance of Android, and they know uh, what it means to be learning Android, and to adopt Android as a career choice. Even then, we will try to answer this question: why Android? Why should we learn Android? Why should we prefer Android over any other language? So there are some very basic obvious reasons. The first thing is that the whole world is going mobile. This era is called mobile era. The earlier era was personal computer era, the time from 2000 to 2010. At that time, personal computer area was booming, right? Desktops came, laptops came, and the progress was very good in that. But even then, not everyone could afford a laptop or a desktop, right? We, a middle class in India, could afford a laptop or desktop, mm, but not everyone, not lower class people, right? Uh, Now there is a difference. Today, everyone can afford a mobile. You can get a decent Android smartphone with 6,000 rupees, right? And even you can see a rickshawala or a redwala having a smartphone, uh, running WhatsApp or Facebook or any other app, right? And they are using smartphone, right? Um, so this is very big difference. Companies know this fact, and companies know that you through smartphones they can reach to every single user's pocket, right? That's why mobile apps are in so much trend. Every company is creating their apps, right? And even some or many businesses are only app based. They have their business strategy only on the basis of a single mobile app. For example, Uber and Ola, these companies have their whole business model depending on a mobile app, right? Just like Uber and Ola, there are many companies who work on the basis of only depending on a mobile app, right? So the whole world is going mobile. Android is the most popular mobile operating system that we all know. If we talk about user base, it's in India, it's like 84% of of all the smartphones. 84% is covered by Android phones. Apps are everywhere. Every company is creating app. Even government, if you see government apps, mm, uh, central or state governments are creating mobile apps, Android specifically, and they are making it available for the users to get services, government services. There is a dedicated mobile app portal for government apps only, that is called, I think, M Seva. uh, I think this one is that. Yes. Yeah. So this is a mobile app portal dedicated to mobile apps from the government only. Yes. So as Rohit has pointed out, Bheem app, the recent one, that is a huge, revolutionary app that has been released by central government by Mr. Narendra Modi for digital transactions. Right? I have tried that app. I haven't. I have just tried that app. I haven't used that actually, but it is a good one. Right? So there are. So the thing is that learning. If you are going to learn Android, you're making a very good choice for your career. Very, very good choice. You are taking this step at absolutely right time. Now there is a huge demand of Android developers, specifically in India, right? And freshers are in really high demand because the companies know company no every company can afford an experienced person, because the demand of the package demand of an experienced Android developer is very high. So not every company can afford experienced Android developer. They are hiring freshers, and they are even to freshers they are paying very good. You can get with 0 to 6 months of experience, you can get like 3 4 5 lakh of CTC, even for in a simple company. If you have very only a modest experience in Android, if you have very good knowledge of Android, you can go above, right? It is one of the most paid technology, Android technology. And yes, as I earlier pointed out, it is the top smartphone OS globally. So I think by now we are satisfied how is this choice of learning Android. Let's start into Android. So can anyone tell me specifically what is Android? You can use chat box for your answers. What is Android? What do you think Android is?
It is a OS for mobile.
Sorry.
It is OS, operating system
Yes,
for mobile device.
it is operating system for mobile devices, right? Anything else anyone want to add? Android is an open source OS, right? As pointed by Alka rightly, it is an operating system for mobile. Kevin says Android is a mobile operating system. Initially, it was developed for camera and then they moved to mobile. Yes, this is also a fact. Right. Uh, so what I would say, I would want to add some points here. Everyone knows that it is a mobile operating system. So I would add something. Android is a combination of a lot of things. It is mobile operating system. It is a, I would not say mobile, it is an operating system for for mobiles, tablets, TV, watches, cars, gadgets, electronic appliances, robots, glasses, any other smart machine where an operating system is needed. Right. So there is a difference between saying mobile operating system and a general operating system as well. I haven't added very obvious thing here. It is also used operating system for laptops. Yes, you would not find many laptops, Android-based laptops, but there are available Android books, notebooks, which we call Android-based laptops. Uh, so when Android was initially designed, it was designed for mobiles. That is another thing. First, it was actually the idea of Android came for cameras only, and I can add camera here also. So firstly, it was designed for and it was developed for mobiles, but then it moved to other platforms also. Google developed it for mobiles, then it moved to tablets, Android-based tablets, cameras. There are Android-based cameras. Then it also evolved Android for laptops. There are Android based smart TVs. You will get that easily. You buy a Samsung smart TV, it is supported by Android. Then there are Android based watches easily available. Some of you might have those watches. Cars, in Audis or BMWs, there are dashboards, Android based dashboards available. You can find Android in any gadgets. There are gadgets being developed for Android based gadgets, electronic appliances. You can find Android in microwave ovens or washing machines in near future. Robots, that is a simple thing. Glasses, there are and Google glasses available. You might have seen them on TV or somewhere. Google glasses available which are Android based. So Android is not limited to mobile and tablets. Yes, Android is vastly, being used for mobiles and tablets are the biggest product, uh, biggest, clients of Android, mobiles and tablets. With the general product, the usual products based on Android, but Android is being used for other appliances also, right? You will learn about development for mobiles and tablets basically, but developing for when you learn development for mobiles and tablets, it will be easy for you to develop applications for all other things also. This is the power of Android. There is not much difference between when development for other appliances also. You will learn that also, right? So this is one thing. I'm not finished yet. This is one aspect of Android. It is operating system. Second point is it is plus. It also has SDK, software development kit, plus tools to necessary tools to create apps. I think that's enough because tools contain everything that is required. So Android is a software stack. When we say software stack, it is a lot of things apart from operating system. Operating system plus inbuilt apps, right? And plus SDK, that is software development kit. SDK means the IDE that you would be using to create apps, plus the APIs, the classes that you will be using, the inbuilt classes. Just like Java, in Java you have inbuilt classes like string, thread, and all other classes that you use to create your programs in Java. Just like that, in Android also, there are many classes, many frameworks available that you can use to create your apps. So Android is operating system plus inbuilt apps, a combination of inbuilt apps. It also has SDK, software development kit, which means the inbuilt, classes to be used for creating your apps, plus necessary tools to create apps. Necessary tools like emulator, you will get an emulator to check your app, to test your app, plus the software to create the apps, and other tools which you will be using shortly to test or create your apps. Alka is asking, sir, do APIs come under SDK? Yes, APIs are the same thing. I refrained from using this term API because it may not be for now. It may not be uh, mm, understandable for everyone. So API is actually application programming interface. All the inbuilt classes you use to create your apps, they can also be called as APIs. But APIs also has another mean, like the web services, the URLs you will be using to connect to server, they also sometimes get called as APIs. Rohit is asking, all its apps are in Play Store. Yes, most of the apps are available in Play Store, but by inbuilt apps, I mean when you get a new Android phone, there are many apps that are already installed, like Contacts app, Camera app, GPS app. So all these apps form the part of an operating system, the Android. It is not the original part of operating system, Android operating system, but they are part of the whole Android software stack, right? So Android is just not an operating system, it's a lot more than that. Guys, any questions? Okay, okay, great. So who has Android Studio installed in their machines? Anyone? Alka is saying yes. Kumar has it. Anyone else? Okay, that's great. Most of you have installed it, but no worries if you haven't yet. Uh, I would request you to go here, just search for Android Studio, and you will get this URL. Let me also post this URL in chat to everyone. Just go to this URL and you can see here, and you will find Android Studio, the official IDE for Android. This is the software which we will be using to create our Android apps. You'll have to download this. This is free to download. You will be downloading it. You will be needing a good internet because it is 1.6 GB, right? And just download it and install it. And once you download it, once you install it, you will run it, and these it this is when I have started my Android Studio. This is showing me this list of projects because I already have many projects created. So it will at first it will not show you any list if you haven't created any Android project. Let me start one of the project. It takes a lot of time to load a project because it has to load the project, it has to build that again. Now when you start Android project every day, you get a tip. You can follow that tip because the power of Android Studio is that it is very productive. If you follow a lot of given tips, a lot of shortcuts, if you follow them, your development is going to be really fast. But for that you will have to wait for some time, and for that you will have to learn how to use Android Studio productively and efficiently. You can notice here at the bottom, it is loading the project, it is building the project. It will take some time. Once it's done loading this whole project and building it, we can start development here. I would request you to, if you can just download the Android Studio and install it right here, right now. And because after some time, I will be giving you a little assignment to work upon. Okay. So what is all? Let's try to understand what is all happening here. You might have, some of you might have seen Android Studio earlier. Some of you might have worked on any other IDE like NetBeans or Eclipse. This is a little similar to that. So if you have worked on any other IDE, you will be it will be easy for you to understand. These are all files here, but no worries if you haven't yet. Uh, I will explain everything here and repeatedly. I am getting a constant, issues with my Android Studio. I will have to, I think, replace it. What happens is it consumes a lot of RAM. It consumes a lot of RAM. Let's see how much RAM it is using right now. 741. Only one window of, I have just opened one project and it is consuming 741 MB, a little less than 1 GB of RAM. And I have just started it. No, I haven't started working on it. Mm, okay. And sometimes it gets frozen when I there are some issues with the settings. I haven't removed that issue. I haven't resolved that issue. So sometimes it gets frozen. Anyways, these are all the files that I have opened up in my project. This is the Java file, activity file. We'll be learning a lot about activities. This is Android manifest file. This syntax that you can see here is XML syntax. I would say this is one of the easiest language that you can learn, that you can see. It will take only it is just like plain English. You have to just understand what are the attributes for. It is just that XML, right? So we'll be talking about Android manifest file and what is the meaning of all these attributes. Okay, let's see here what we have. This is styles.xml. You know about CSS in HTML? We use CSS to define some styles, to define the themes, which we can use repeatedly use in another pages in websites, right? So we, instead of CSS in Android, we have styles again in written in XML. So what is style? For example, style defines the theme of a particular page. In style files, you define your colors, different colors. You define your font size. You define your font color. You define your background. You define everything that you can in your in your to give a specific look to your page. You define all those attributes here, and then you can use that style everywhere in your app, right? For example, this is a style with the name app theme. The parent of this style is another built-in theme, right? And you have changed some attributes like color primary should be this one, color primary dark should be this one, and color accent should be this one. So I will be explaining all this in more comprehensively later. This is your colors.xml. Here in colors.xml, you define the colors of uh, all the colors you are going to use in your app. If you know, in programming language, colors are defined by RGB values, hexadecimal RGB values, where first two digits or first two characters define the extent of R, second two extents of green, and third two extent of blue, right? The value of blue or the percentage of blue, you can say. So RGB defined by hexadecimal. You can also use 3 or 6. You have to use 3 or 6, not 4, right? So this is a color primary. This is color primary dark. This is color accent. I can create more colors like green. I would say green color I have created. So for that I will be using 00FF00. So this is your green color. Here R is 0, F is full until sorry, green is full. Sorry again, and then blue is also 0. Right. So here in this colors.xml you will be defining a lot of colors. Any questions, guys?
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, we can define the colors and style like we are in CSS. We are using CSS file only to define the color. So why we are using a different file and
Yes, very good
this?
question. Very good question. So yes, we can give the colors here also, like this one, hash FF0000. This is means your primary dark color has become a red color. So why are we using a different? That is the flexibility. That is actually the power of Android. How it is the power? The thing is, in Android, later you will see we can, in the same application, we can develop for different screen sizes, different type of form factors. Like you are using the same application in your phone also, and in your tablet also, and in your Android TV also, right? And you are you want to, for example, in your mobile apps you want to show a particular bar, upper bar, in green color, but in TV you want to show the same bar in typical a particular blue color, right? So how would you distinguish between these two colors? You will be defining two colors.xml files in different folders. I would explain you that later, where you will be defining that two particular different colors.xml in different folders. And at the runtime for TV, the application will, if the application is installed in TV, uh, it will pick a different colors.xml, and for phones it will pick a different colors.xml. So this is the advantage of defining your color in a separate colors.xml. Did you get it?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Any more questions? Okay, let's move forward. This is activity underscore main.xml. What is this? This is a layout file. What is a layout? A layout is the design of your screen. This is a random design I have created where there are many view components like button, image view, label, a checkbox, and a radio button, a switch, again an input box. You can define these components in XML like this: text view, button, text view, checkbox, radio button, switch, etc. And you can also drag and drop them from here. like this. I want to add a text view. Let me add a text view by dragging it here. I want to add a button. Let me add a button here like this, right? So you can do this both way. And we will be exploring this in much more detail shortly. Let me just go on mute, and I have a lot of noise here. Let me just take care of that. Okay, yes. So this is the layout which define your screen design. You can see here there are many components described here: text view, button, again one text view, a checkbox, and you can also notice some attributes, some similar attributes in every component, like width, height, the placement, color, background color, the text, etc. It is very easy to learn. Don't You wouldn't have to spend some much effort in learning this, how to define the attributes. This is the easiest thing, right? Defining this layout. The hard thing is here in activity, the actual Java programming you are going to do. The hard thing, the difficult thing comes here. This main activity.java defines your first screen. There's difference between this and this. This is the design. This XML layout is the design, and main activity.java adopts that design or attaches that design and show this design. You can see here set content view, and here I have given the name of that particular layout file, which is this one, right? Now let me run an emulator and run that particular application in the emulator and show you. I have started this emulator. You can also call it AVD, that is Android Virtual Device. And I hope that whoever is no has not installed Android Studio yet, they are downloading it and installing it, because shortly I would ask every one of you to create a project. I'm not saying anything. Okay. If you cannot download it, that's okay. You will anyone who has it yet, you can try creating the project. Okay, so this is the emulator that I have started, and this is the application which I have shown you, right? This is a button, this is a label, this is an image view where I'm showing an icon. Image view is used for showing your icon. This is again one another label where I have changed the text size and text color. This is a checkbox, this is a radio button, this is a switch, and this is an input box. We call it edit text. Let me run this again. Here, by pressing this particular button, I would run this application on the simulator. Now, what is it showing me? It is asking me to select the development target, right? So right now I have only one emulator running. I can start more than one emulator at the same time, and I can also connect my device with the with my laptop and run the application on that too. But right now I have only one emulator, so I would select that, and it will first it will build. You can see how it is building here, and after that it will run here. Yes. So now it is running. So the changes that I have done here, they are showing here, right? Any questions, guys? Yes, I have one question pending to be answered. This is from Shashank, I think. He's asking, can you tell the general difference among various XML files appearing? Yes, we will definitely explore everything that Rohit is asking, sir, for saving data, what is used? For saving data, you can use key value pairs that we also call preferences. We will see that how to do that. This is one way. Another way of saving data is local database file. we'll be using a miniature version of SQL that is called SQLite. Lighter version of SQL, we will be using SQLite to save our database files locally. And for saving your files like text files, your audio video files, your images, you will be using file system. Very simple to use. 4 or 5 lines of code, that is easy.
Sir, it's similar to JDBC.
JDBC, right? You can say is SQLite. JDBC framework is to connect your Java with
Yeah.
SQL, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
we will be using the same type of concept in connecting with SQLite, right?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Manas is asking what is the minimum SDK that we need to choose while creating a new project. Yeah, we are just coming to that. Can we choose any SDK randomly? Yes, we will see that. We haven't yet seen how to create a new project. We will be using that. Shashank is asking, JSON will be used, right? Yes, definitely. JSON is the type data format that you will be using to get data from web services. Like, for example, if anyone doesn't know about JSON, this is how a JSON data looks like. This is one of the sample API or sample web service that I have created. When we talk about HTTP communication connecting to internet, we'll be talking about JSON a lot, right? So I hope everyone's question is answered. Some of the things are pending, which we will be exploring gradually along the flow. You can ask any questions. So anytime I may not understand your questions quite clearly, and I cannot, I may not answer your question properly. So you can, rephrase your question, or you can try to explain me your question so that if I haven't answered your question properly, right? Okay. Uh, we haven't touched our slides yet. Sometimes slides are not that helpful. Anyways, and we may not necessarily follow the the slides, because sometimes slides do not cover everything that we are going to cover, and sometimes the in slides information is misleading or not exactly correct, right? So we may not follow slides exactly, right? Okay. So let's talk about how to create a new project. We have seen an already created project, right? We have seen what are the main app, what are the main classes, what are the main files that are available there in a project. Let's see how to create a new project. File, new, new project. Going here again, at the left top corner, there is a file option. From file, you will go new. From new, you will go new project. Here, new project, you will click new project, and this window will appear. When this window is appeared, you can here change the settings. For example, the default name of application is my application. Let me choose a good name. Let me choose my weather app, or my fun app. Just that, my fun app. Application name, company domain. What is this? Company domain. This domain name decides the package name of your application. The package name of your application will decide the identity of your application. This is the, you can see there is a relation between this domain name and the package name here. The reverse of domain name is your package name. This package name is very important. Keep it in mind. This package name is very important because this package name will act as a unique ID for your application. Right. So right now I have kept this paramvirsing.com. You can also change it here, right? And this project location is your where your project will be saved in your computer. Press next. Here you can choose any of the platform you are going to create your application for. Most generally it is phone and tablet. You can also create your application for Android based watches or Android based TVs or Android based cars or Android based glasses. Most generally it is phone and tablet, so you will keep it checked as it is phone and tablet. And what is minimum SDK? This was one of the question earlier. So what is the minimum SDK? This minimum SDK defines the minimum Android version you want to give your support for. For example, if your minimum SDK is 5.0, that means your application will not run on earlier version than 5.0. That means your application will not run on 4.4 or 4.3 or 4.2, right? So you have to choose this according to your needs, minimum SDK. Now, what is this? Empty activity, full screen activity. What kind of activity, what kind of screen do you want to create as the first activity? Most of the time it is empty activity because we, uh, you know, because we create all the content by ourselves. So most of the time you will use empty activity. Empty activity I have created, and press next. And at the last screen, you can give the name of your activity. You can change this main to first, anything, right? And this activity will be created and a corresponding layout will also be created. Activity underscore first. And then you press finish because this is the last screen. The buttons are not showing here because I have increased the size of font size of the screen here, and it is not showing in the screen. I will press enter and it will start creating a new project for me. I have one question here. This package name should be unique across all apps available in Play Store. Exactly. This package name which you will be defining for your project, this should be the unique across all the apps available in Play Store. That's right. Okay, so this is the project that is created for you. We are going to take a break here for a few minutes. Uh, Everyone who has Android Studio installed in their machines, please try to create the project, follow all those steps to create the project, right? And if you have to repeat those steps, just go to this particular page or randomly choose any page from the internet. Anyone who has the Android Studio installed in their device, in their machines, please try creating a new project. We are going on a break for maybe 10 minutes, right? I'm going on mute for that time. Before that, if anyone has question, or anyone has to share anything, please let me know.
So this is Dignesh. So
Yes,
if I created one package with some identity, that is the package name.
exactly right.
If I want to rename it again, is it possible, or we need to
Yes, exactly. It is perfectly it is possible. Uh, you can while doing development, you can change the name anytime.
okay?
There's no issue with that,
You can
right?
show me later, right?
Yes, you can
Oh,
just go right click, refactor,
uh,
and rename.
okay.
That's it. Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
yeah. But keep it in mind, once you publish your app in Play Store, you cannot change the package name then, right?
Okay,
Because then it is published and it is fixed, right? In development, you can do that anytime you want, right?
yeah, got it.
Okay. Anyone else is having any question? Okay, then I think I'm going on mute for 10 minutes now. Thank you, everyone. Okay, guys, I'm back. I hope everyone is too. Has anyone tried playing around with Android Studio? If yes, have you faced any issue? That's great. Okay, so let's see. Uh, let's look further into the project structure. So you might notice this font size is very large in comparison to your font size. You can increase or decrease this font size from settings, right? I try to keep my font size large because it is easy on eyes, and also for the demos for the sessions it is preferable. Also, you can change the theme from white to black, the whole theme of Android Studio. For my development, I prefer to keep that theme to black, again because it is easy on eyes. But for demo purposes, for sessions, I keep it white. Okay. Uh, this is your app structure. There are three things you can see: manifest folder, Java folder, and resources, right? Manifest, Java, and resources, and then there is one more folder that is Gradle scripts. Everything is important here, and we will go into everything, each thing one by one. First of all, skipping manifest, let's come directly to Java. In Java folder, you have the package folder of your application, the package that you created for your application, and in that package, you have the first activity, the default activity that you created. And if you open this activity, this looks like this. Can anyone tell me what is the meaning of extends? I've got three answers. What is the meaning of in extends? I think everyone knows. Most of you know, right? Because you have undergone the Java training, right? Okay, so everyone knows about it, right? When we say class first activity extends app compact activity, that means you're we are creating first activity class, a new class with the name of first activity, and it is extending an already built class. The name of that class is app compat activity. Now app compat activity we haven't created, so what that means is this is already created and this is built in class. Yes, this is a built in class. This is the activity that is already created there. Now we are talking about activities, but what are activities? What is this app compat activity? What is first activity? What is the name? What is the meaning of name activity? Can anyone tell me that? Does anyone know? I haven't told you about that, but can you make any guess? Or do you have any idea what an activity is? I've got one or two answers. Yes, both answers are correct. Activity is, I would say, the most important component in Android. The most important thing in Android is activity, because activity is everything. It is the screen, a particular screen, or a page in your app. Every page you will be having a lot of pages, a lot of screens. For example, mm, this is your this is your first screen, and on the clicking of a button you go to another screen or another page, right? And you go back to find the first page again, then you go to another page on clicking any other button, like this, right? So every page is, this is another screen, right? So every page or every screen is defined by a separate activity, right? And the Java code for that activity or that screen you will write here. Any confusion here? You got the point, right? Every screen or every page is defined by an activity. I have created first activity, that means the first page of your Android app, and I have extended it from app compat activity. Why? So that we don't have to write every line of code again to show that activity in our app, because internally this activity does a lot of things, right? To render the UI, to handle the life cycle. So we don't want to write the code again and again. That's why the already built in activity is created to write that code at one place, and we are just extending that activity. We You can see I am showing this activity in the screen, but I am not writing any much code. I have just written on create method, and in that on create method I have called one single method, that is set content view r.layout.activity underscore first, and this activity underscore first is the name of the this layout file, right? So you don't have to write much code because you are extending app compat activity. This is what you would do. Now let me create one more activity. We will go here, empty activity again. I'll say it second activity, and it is created. Same as first activity, right? And the activity second is also activity underscore layout, second layout is also created, which is empty again, right? Let me run this app now. I think I have a question here. Activity is the one, okay, this is the answer. Activity is the one that appears as UI, right. Okay, now I have started running this app. This Gradle build is finished and it will run the app here, and we should show both the screens in our app. Let's wait for a moment. Yes, so this is the first screen showing. Now let's go to the second screen, but how we can go to the second screen? There is no way we can go to the second screen. Can anyone guess? Can anyone give an hint? How should we go to the second screen? How can we go to the second screen? Okay, I'm getting some answers here. Activity. So can we say activity is combination of Java code and XML file? Yes, Alka, activity is a combination of Java code and XML file, right? So the design you will create in the XML layout and the logic you will write in the activity in the Java code of activity, right? We will see what things we can do in activity. Acha, from Kevin, we can change manifest file and link it to the second screen. Oh, that's right. That is one way, right? We have to create a link. Rohit is saying, yes, we have to create a link. Yes, we have to create a link. We have to find a way. We have to create a way how to, go to another activity. Alka is saying using an intent. That's absolutely right. Using an intent. We will be talking about intents shortly from now. Kumar is saying using intents call another activity. Oh, so my audience is already knowledgeable. Good to hear that. Adarsh is saying place a button to go to next screen. That is the perfect thing, right? We have to create every answer. I am glad to know that every answer is in its way right. We have to create one thing is we can go here in manifest file and change the settings so as to show second activity in as instead of first activity as the first screen, but that is another thing. What we will have to do is we have to create a link between first activity and second activity. For that we will have to create a button. One way is to create a button in my first activity so that on the click of that button we will be going to the second activity, right? So let's do that. Let's create a button. Let's change its name also, its label, I would say. Oops, it has started uh, not to respond. Let me just explain the whole thing now. Going to another activity, we'll create a button on first. On clicking that button, execute the code to go to the second activity. What we will have to do on to do this, we want to, on the click of this button, we want to write some code to go to second activity. What we will have to do in order to do that, in order to achieve that, we will have to catch the click event, right? And on the click event, fire an intent to go to second activity. Catch the click event. We have to interfere. We have to catch this click event. We have to know when this click is happened, and on that click event, when we catch this on the that click event, we will have to fire an intent to go to the second activity. Now, what is this new thing, intent? I would say this is the second most important thing in Android after activity. So this intent, what is this intent? Intents are the messages. It is a message to be thrown to the Android system in order to achieve something. This is very simple definition. You would not find this definition in documentation. This is a layman definition. What is intent? We can say intent is a message to be thrown to the Android system in order to achieve something. You want to start an activity, fire an intent. You want to start a service, fire an intent. You want to send some data from one point to another point, fire an intent. You'll be using intents in a lot of cases, in a lot of scenarios. So first of all, here you will be using the simplest use case of intent to start another activity, to start another screen. Everyone getting this? Just respond me with yes if you are, or in no if you are not. Everyone getting this or not? I've got 5 yeses, 6. Haven't got any no yet. 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 or 8. Where is everyone? Please respond with no if you are not getting this. If you, if anything is confusing to you. I'm not getting any no, but I haven't got all the yeses yet. What is this? Why every vote is not I think I have around 10 people here and I've got only 7 yeses. Yes, one, I've got one no. That's fine. Yes, I will spend some more time to explain this again. So the objective here is to start another activity, right? Now, for that, we would learn about intents. We would learn about a new thing, that is intent, and we will see how to, how we will be throwing an intent, how we'll be using an intent to start another activity. How, what time we will be throwing that intent? At the click event. And how we will be catching that click event, that is not yet explored. So we will be catching that click event by using another object that is called on click listener. Okay. So what are intents are simple thing, very simple thing. Intent is kind of a message to be thrown to the Android system in order to achieve something. If you cannot get this definition, just avoid this, just ignore this. Intents, uh just remember this, intents are used to start another activity or pass data between two activities. I think now it is much more easier to understand. Intents are objects, I would say, to be used to start another activity. Right? Okay. Now we have created a button, and on that button, click this. I have named this button click this. This is the label. This is not the name, I would say. This is not the name. Now let's see how this button looks like in the XML. There is this ID for this button, which is very important. Remember this. This ID will be we will be using to refer this button in our Java code. Then there is width, there is height, then there are some placement attributes like which button should be placed below which thing. Then there is margin start, margin top to end of, and all the other things, and the text. We'll be exploring these attributes later, but now, right now, the objective is to use this button to start another activity. Right now, we have to go to, now the part of layout is done. We have to go here. Button, M button, M button is equal to find UID r dot id dot button. That's it. I've got the reference to the button that was defined there in the XML file. Button. Now I have to do the operation, the required operation here on the button. For that, what I did say in this note, first I have to create a button, then we have to catch that click function, click event, catch the click event, and then on the click event fire the intent. So first we will have to catch the click event using on click listener, new on click listener. Very simple to do that. Just take a look at this. I'm pausing for a moment here for you to take a look at this code and try to understand everything that is done here, because this code is self-explaining. And raise after taking a look, raise any doubt you have, any confusion you are having if you are unable to understand that. I'm pausing for a moment here. I hope everyone is able to understand this. I've got one question, I will answer that. Any more questions if you are unable to understand this?
Sir, I want to know from the line number 19,
Uh-huh. Yes, please.
the explanation of the code from line number 19.
Okay. So what I have done here is I have called a method set on click listener. Let me dissect this code this way. I can do the same thing. I can write the same thing. like this also, listener, right? The important thing here is this set on click listener method. What is this? This method attaches, now notice this method attaches a listener, a click listener to the button. What that click listener is for? Whenever this button is clicked, the on click method of that listener which we have attached, the on click method of that listener will be called every time the button is clicked. Here we have created the listener, right? Here we have created the listener. What is this on click listener? This is an inbuilt interface. This we will be using to define our listener object. We have created a listener object. Now whatever we write here, whatever we'll be writing here, every line of code will be executed every time this button is clicked, right? So this is simple. Got the point here? Now we have to write the logic of starting another activity, right? We will be writing the code to start another activity here, and every time this button will be clicked, that code will happen, that code will execute. So with before starting another activity, let me just give you a demo of this click listener. This is a toast message I am going to print. You will be using toast, a lot of toast in your applications also. A toast is a simple message that is shown on the screen. You'll find out in a moment. Yeah. So this is the output. On clicking this, I'll show a message. The button is clicked. On clicking again, the same message will be shown. So every time I will click this line of code will run and you will see the message. I haven't yet, I haven't yet written the code to start another activity. I'm just showing you the demo of how this click listener works. Got it, everyone? Now let's change the message starting another activity, and let's write the code for starting another activity, and which is very simple. Start activity is the method that you will be using. You can see there is a method available, start activity. Before that, because it will take an intent, so I told you about intents. First I will create an intent. Intent is equal to new intent. This is how I will be creating an intent. New intent, and here I have to give it two things, the source and the destination. What is the source here? What is the source of this intent, guys?
first activity.
First activity, right? And the destination is second activity. That's it, right? Now I have created an intent and I have to pass this intent here. Start activity, passing the intent, and that's it. My thing is done. I can run this now. Now, on the clicking of this activity, my second activity started. This is empty thing, so it is not appealing to eyes. The second activity, but yes, our code is working. Going back, first activity will show on the click of this button. Second activity will be showing. So this is your second activity, which is empty, right? So our task is done here. We have seen how to start another activity from the first activity. Has everyone got this? Any confusion, any doubt, any question? Please fire. Okay, I think that's it. Everyone has got this. Please ask me any question if you have. Alka is saying yes, got it. Kumar is saying no doubts so far. Good to hear that. Manas is asking, can we open two activities from first activity? Yes, we can. And obviously we are going to do that later. And what we have to do is we have to create third activity. And for that, we have to create on the click of same button, we cannot open two activities, right? But because that would not make any sense, right? So what we will have to do is we will have to create two buttons, and on the click of the corresponding button, we will be starting another activity, right? Rohit is asking, sir, this toast is used only for buttons? No, you can use it anywhere you want, in any scenario you want. This is just a message. It doesn't have any dependency on button. Okay, start activity is the method of which class? Mm, the start activity method is the method of the activity class. You can see here, we called the start activity method here in the activity class. Yes, you may also doubt that it may be the method of on click also, on click listener also, but it is the method of activity class actually. Okay, anything? Let's move ahead. Let's take a look at the Android manifest file. This is your how your Android manifest file is looking. There are some attributes that are declared for this application, and there are activities list, activity first and activity second. So your Android manifest file uh, is just like a metadata file for your application, where you will be declaring all your important components that are included in your application. Let's take a look at the slides also.
Sir, please, one doubt.
Yes, please.
Yeah, someone said that we can access the second activity using the manifest also. So how can it be done? Can you please explain? Means
Yes. Yeah. So we will be explaining. I'm not, explaining everything about the manifest file. Right. Shortly, we will see the role of manifest file, and I will be explaining you everything about the manifest file, and then we will be able to see what are all those things, how we can do that. We will be able, I will be able to answer your question, and there is another question also, what is intent filter. I will be answering that question too in in that part related to manifest file. Right, let's just quickly, although we have covered the content that is there in the slides, let's just revise all those things again, right? Okay. So this is, now we are starting these slides. So we will have to just go back a little. The cat guild, I had to give the introduction about the cat guild, but I think you have done the course from, most of you have done the course from a cat guild, so you already know about it. Cat guild provides a lot of important courses like Node.js, Android development, big data, and Hadoop. Many trained developers are there like myself, and you can opt for any course to shape your career. It was founded by Vinod Dham, which is famously called as the father of Pentium processor. Okay, course objective is done. We have talked about it. We will be learning how to develop professional enterprise level Android apps. You will be understanding the architecture of Android applications, life cycle of various components, manifest intents, and the use of external resources for Android development. Now you can make sense of all these points, right? Manifest intents, right? You will be learning how to design and develop Android applications user interface using material design. Material design is a language that is developed by Google to give a very awesome UI look and feel to your apps. So we will be learning about that also a little bit. Learning how to use Android applications framework API to build complex Android apps. learning how to utilize the supremacy of background services, threads, asynchronous task, and notification, and you will learn how to secure, tune, package, and deploy Android apps. Introduction, features, releases, architecture. Let's see that. Let's go back and talk about Android history. Now that you know how to start a project, how to create an activity, and how to talk between them, you can comfortably know about in general what is Android. Android is a software platform and a Linux kernel based operating system for mobile. What is Android as a operating system? It is based on Linux kernel. Can someone tell me what is a Linux kernel? As you might know, Linux is the one of the famous operating system, right? Open source operating system, and but Linux kernel is not the same as Linux operating system. A, a kernel is said to be the heart of operating system. For example, if this is your operating system, this is the core or of operating system, right? Why did I say core? Because in the core the actual implementation of the operating system lies. All the uh, important operating system concepts like memory management, power management, process management, all these implementations are there in the core, in the kernel itself. So you can say that the kernel is the heart of the operating system, right? So by this statement, it means that the heart of Android is Linux kernel. The heart of Android is Linux. It is not completely a Linux based operating system, but the core implementation of Android is Linux based. Android is open source, which means it is made freely available and may be redistributed and modified. Android is open source, which means it is made freely available and may be redistributed and modified. Android was founded way back in 2003. Android was developed by Andy Rubin, Rich Miner, Nixier. So Andy Rubin was the main person behind the Android. It started development of Android in 2003, and in 2005, Google purchased Android from Andy Rubin for $50 million. Now, Google is the main company behind the progress of Android, but Google is not the only one. Okay, Google is the main company, but Google is not the only one, because there are the efforts of many big companies behind the progress of Android. They all form a community which is called Open Handset Alliance, OHA. All your main biggest manufacturer like LG, Samsung, Sony Ericsson, all these manufacturer companies are part of this Open Handset Alliance. All chipset companies like Intel, Qualcomm, they are part of this Open Handset Alliance. All your major network carriers like Airtel, Verizon, TNT, uh, Indian as well as overseas network carriers, they are part of this OHA. So every big name is part of technology company like IBM. They are part Wipro. Uh, they all are part of OHA, whoever is dealing with mobile ecosystem, right? Android and its features: application framework enabling reuse and replacement of components. Yes, you can do that. For example, if you have to replace the default home screen of Android, your Android device, you can do that. You can enable or disable some features, and you can replace the already existing features. That is the power of Android. You cannot do that in iPhone. In iPhone, everything is fixed, right? But in Android, you can change every default application. You want to change the contacts application, the inbuilt contacts application. You want to replace it, you can do that. You want to replace the inbuilt dialer screen, you can do that, right? So you can change the theme, you can change the look and feel, everything in Android. It has one integrated browser based on the open source WebKit engine. Yes, every Android, every stock Android version has an integrated browser. Optimized graphics powered by custom 2D 3D library. Yes, you may not relate to this point, but yes, this is one of the feature. SQLite for structured data storage, that I already mentioned. We will be dealing with SQLite. SQLite is the lighter version of your SQL, right? So SQLite library is inbuilt. You can use that to handle your database, which is very powerful library. Media support for common audio, video, and still image formats. So there is Android is supporting every famous audio video format. There is no doubt in that. So all the major media formats are supported. GSM telephony, that we all know. Android is support. There is inbuilt GSM telephony support and network support for 3G, 4G, LTE. There are some other features like NFC. NFC is near field communication technology. This is the same technology you find in your office access card or in your metro cards, right? So there is an RFID or NFC technology, right? So this is also available in Android. Bluetooth, we all know this is there. Camera, GPS, compass, and accelerometer. Some other hardware dependent features are usually available in your Android phone. Camera is there, GPS, global positioning system, GPS radio is there, compass and accelerometer X sensors are there. You may ask any question anytime. I'm just reminding you. These are the different releases of Android. Can anyone point out any pattern, any interesting thing between these names? Yes, they are in alphabetical order and named after sweets. Right. Every except A and B, every name is in alphabetical order, right? And they are named after sweet desserts. Cupcake, donut, eclair, froyo from C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, right? The latest one is nougat, right? And every name is called named after a sweet dessert, cupcake, donut, eclair, etc. Right? And yes, another thing is that you don't have to remember anything about the previous versions. You would not be developing for these previous versions. They are obsolete. They are history. You don't have to worry about this. You have to worry about only the latest version or two or three earlier versions like this. And you don't have to do anything specifically for them, right? This is just the visual representation of the different versions. Now let's talk about Android architecture, which is an important thing. So, guys, how is it going? I want your feedback. How is it going? Is it too fast? It is too slow? It is boring? How is it? Can you share your feedback, please? I hope it is not that boring. It may be a little boring. That is acceptable. Learning is always a little boring. Okay. Kevin says it's interesting. Mana says awesome. Oh, thank you. Alka is saying great. Rohit, nice. Adarsh, good. Nice, sir. Rajan, good. Vigneshwaran, good. That's great. That are really very good reviews. Okay, that's great. That's great. Ashish is saying great going. Kumar is saying a little boring, not quite fond of history. Except for that, it is going good. That's great. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Yes, and also a 4 hours of lecture, 4 hours of class is kind of a little is take a toll on your on your patience or your stamina. For me, it's going good. It is always good. 4 hours. I have given 6 hours of lectures online, and I am used to 8 hours of classes, physical classes, but not 8 hours of online, which I would say is which will be very bad if I have to do that. Kumar is saying, wasn't it supposed to be one session a day? I didn't get that. Yes. No, this is 4 hours of the lecture, not 2 sessions. I mean, 2 sessions per day, right? Manas is saying what we do demo, it will be good. 4 hours theory will be boring. Yes. So to beat that 4 hours, we will be sharing the demo. I mean, today you don't have Android Studio with all of your you. So from tomorrow, from next sessions onwards, you will be trying uh, the code by yourself also. I'll be giving you some demo and some part you will be doing also, right? And I will be checking the same thing randomly from any of you, right? And you can add any of your input if you want to add something in your sessions. That would be welcome. As I said earlier in the start of the session, I try to make my sessions as interactive as possible to beat the boredom out of the sessions. So I can accept any feedback you want to share to make it more interesting. Okay, coming back to the Android architecture, what is this? After this, we will take a little break once again. So let's cover this Android architecture. I think you will be okay with the one more break, a little break. So there are 4 layers of Android architecture. What is this? Reading about this architecture helps us in understand how things work beneath in the Android system. When we execute an application, when we run an application, how things work, right? So there are 4 layers. The bottommost is Linux kernel, as I mentioned earlier. Android is based on Linux kernel, and all the operating system core implementations are lying here in the Linux kernel. Then above that, there is a libraries layer. above that there is a framework layer, and above that there is a applications layer. This is also important. This architecture is also important uh, uh, in for your interviews, right? Sometimes interviewers ask about how things are implemented in Android architecture. So let's start from the bottommost layer, Linux kernel. Here all your operating system concept like power management, memory management, all those concepts are implemented here, and all the hardware drivers are also there. Display drivers, keypad drivers, camera drivers, Wi-Fi driver, everything is there, right? So this layer interacts with your hardware directly. These drivers are, as you all know, these drivers are implemented in machine language, assembly language. So these drivers can talk to the hardware directly. Whenever your application has to talk to hardware, it will not, your Java code cannot talk to hardware directly. It will have to talk to drivers through these libraries, and these drivers will in turn talk to the hardware. Now talk about libraries. This layer, it is divided in two parts: Android runtime and libraries. As you can see, these libraries are containing a lot of different libraries. All are implemented in C, C++, SQLite library, WebKit library for browser, libc, the general C library, SSL, secure socket layer library, free type library for fonts, for rendering fonts, media framework library for playing and recording audio or video, OpenGL for 2D and 3D graphics, Surface Manager for showing the the screen, SGL again related to graphics. So all these libraries just help you in handling stuff, different types of different kind of stuff in your Android applications. You don't have to learn about everything about these libraries. You just have to know that yes, there is something called libraries which are there to handle stuff at lower level. What is Android runtime? There are two parts. Again, there is mention of core libraries. These are not the same libraries as these are the libraries which which are part of your SDK, like string.java, thread.java, and the activity.java, app-compat-activity.java. All these built-in classes which we are using in our applications here, in our application code, in our like this. So all these like app-compat-activity, onCreate method, and then bundle, all these built-in classes are part of this core libraries, Java classes, Android classes, right? What is Dalvik virtual machine? You know about Java virtual machine, everyone? Java virtual machine is uh, the instances of Java virtual machine get created to run your Java application, right? So your Java virtual machine instance provides the threading, required memory, required computation power to your application, right? So what is a virtual machine? It is a virtually created machine within a machine. It is a virtually created machine within a machine, right? Which provides the environment for the application to run. Dalvik virtual machine is same as JVM, but it is modified for Android, right? So every Android application runs in an instance of Dalvik virtual machine. So this Dalvik virtual machine is a machine within a machine which provides your Android application the environment to run within. Right? Now it has been gradually replaced by a newer version that is called Android Runtime. The difference is not much. There is just a lower level implementation difference. You don't have to worry about that for now at the basic level. That is advanced thing. Application framework. The above layer is application framework. This is, as you can notice, as we are going upwards, the the details are, what we can say is we are going, level wise also we are going upwards. So at this level, Linux kernel level, everything was machine oriented. It was drivers and very low level of, very fine level of implementations. Then above that, there is libraries, right? Which are C. Here it was only C, machine language. Then there it is C++ plus some Java libraries, and then above that there is all about Java. These are activity manager, window managers, content provider. These are frameworks. These are not libraries. These are frameworks, which we will be using to create our applications upon. So these frameworks handle different things. Like telephony manager handles your all the things related to your phone calls. Package manager handles everything about your different packages installed in your Android device. Window manager handles every Windows. Activity manager handles every activity. Content providers handles database and other things. So everything about frameworks is lying here. And at the top there is the applications that we are installing, all the inbuilt applications and the applications that developers are creating. So this is the topmost layer. This is the layer where user will be interacting with. Home application, contacts application, phone application, browser applications, and all so on. Right, guys? So this is how we can divide the working of the Android system.
Sir, SGL and SSL are for are libraries of.
SGL, SSL for a secure socket layer. This is for a secure HTTP networking. SGL is all SGL deals with the graphics. Not sure, but yes, this is for graphics. You don't have to worry about this. These are different, and these the libraries are not limited to this only. This is just a depiction of some of the libraries. There are many more libraries that are available here. Any more questions, guys? We have gone through this native libraries, Android architecture, application framework, Dalvik virtual machine. Let's talk about this a little more. Difference between frameworks and libraries in detail. Frameworks are a combination of different libraries. You can say there is not much difference, but yes, frameworks are libraries may be C or C++ or implemented in Java. They are for achieving something. They provide you some classes to achieve something, right? And frameworks, application frameworks are, you know, a little above than that. They handle a lot more things like activity manager. They handle, so these libraries are for you developers to, you know, to write code and call methods. But these application frameworks, they are doing something. They are already achieving something. Activity manager is installed there in your Android system, and it is handling different things beneath and under the wraps. It is also using activity classes and other things, but it is handling everything related to activities, right? Yes, libraries can be part of frameworks. Okay, Dalvik virtual machine, as I told you, providing environment on which every Android application runs. Each Android application runs in its own process with its own instance of the Dalvik VM. Dalvik has been written such that a device can run multiple VMs efficiently. Register-based virtual machine, just ignore this for now. Executing the Dalvik executable. So your Java virtual machine or your JVM accepts .class files to run, to execute. But your Dalvik virtual machine accepts .dex files. So first .java files are converted into .class, and then .class files are converted into .dex files using a tool called DX. This is handled internally when you build a file, when you build an APK file from your Java, from your Android application. This whole thing is done internally. Yes, every app will have its own instance of DVM, right? DEX format is optimized for minimal memory footprint, and it relies on Linux kernel for threading and low level memory management. It is the next version of Dalvik introduced in KitKat version. As I told you, some time back, some versions back, Dalvik was gradually replaced by Android runtime. Dalvik is the runtime bytecode and VM used for Android system for running Android application. This doesn't make any sense. There is a little error in this. Uh, what is the difference between Android runtime and Dalvik? There are little differences. Android runtime uses ahead of time compilation. Every application, every source code, every source file of application is compiled at the time of installation, right? It means whenever it has to load a particular source code to run, it is always already compiled. But in the case of Dalvik, it was happening that it was just in time compilation. Whenever there is need of some file, it got compiled at that time only. So advantage of that was that applications got installed quickly, but at the time of execution they had to compile every time there is a need. So there are a little differences between them. Actually, in the most recent version of your Android system, it is being used as the combination of AOT and GIT. Yes, even Android runtime is now has been revamped to use the optimum combination of AOT and JIT. You can read about it more in more detail in on internet. Yes, improved garbage collection is also there. So you all know about garbage collection. Garbage collection is to reclaim the freed up memory in Java applications or in Android applications, right? So in ART, the concept of garbage collection was also improved to in earlier implementation of Dalvik. Whenever garbage collector used to run, it used to take a lot of time to execute, which was not efficient for applications. But now garbage collector doesn't take much time, so garbage collection is improved. We'll skip this diagram now. Android Play Store. Okay, I promised a break here. So everyone ready for a break? Okay, let's have a break of 10 minutes, and I will be back. Hello guys, I'm back. So, does anyone has any question, or should we move ahead? Any doubt? I hope everyone is here. Okay, let's move further. Let's talk about Android Play Store. The Play Store where you will be publishing your apps. Whenever you go to place, whenever you have to publish your apps in Play Store, you will have to register yourself in Google Play Developer Console as developer. Right? This is the link you will be using to register yourself as a developer here. You will agree to the terms and condition and you will continue to the payment. You will have to spend 25 US dollars from your credit card, right? That means around little less than 1500 rupees, right? And after that, you will be able to publish your app. Once you pay, yeah, sorry, once you complete your uh, registration process, this is the page you will get here. You can see a list of applications that are already published here in this account, one of my account, right? You can go to any application and update the APK and see other information related to that information, related to that application, like statistics, user acquisition, ratings and reviews, crashes and ANRs, and APK also. Here in APK module, here in APK part, you will be able to upload a new APK whenever you have to upgrade your application.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, so good morning.
Yes.
So actually, I have a query here. So I want
Uh-huh.
to know that before when I upload the application, okay,
Uh-huh.
and after that when the new APK has come,
Uh-huh.
okay, then I can I upload the APK in a small figure, or I have to upload the whole APK on the Google Play Store.
I didn't get your question.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to know that next time when I want to upload my APK on the Google Play Store, then I
Hmm.
have to upload whole APK on the APK Play Store, or only some upgraded version.
The whole APK.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Okay. So,
The whole APK you will have to upload, right? You can upload free APKs, or you can create a few free application, or you can also create a paid applications. Set up your environment. This we already have done in very good details. You have to download Android Studio. Uh, there are sample projects available in Android Studio that you can refer to, and to know more about installation you can follow these steps given here in this link, and you can also watch this video. We have already seen how we can create a new project. You will have to go to new project, create a new project and fill the application name, company domain name, package name, project location. This is the first screen that you see in the project creation wizard. Application name, company domain, package name, and the project location. And then you can select the form factors. Most generally, you will be choosing this phone and tablet. And after that, you will have to choose a type of activity. Mostly you will be using this empty activity type, and then this will be created once you give the name of your activity and layout. And this is how your application looks like when you create a new project. This is the layout design or layout editor screen. One thing that I haven't told you is that this is the this right now you are seeing many few things about the project structure. If you actually go to the project structure in the Explorer, you will see a lot of files here. This is the project folder of your My Fun app that we have created. You can see a lot of folders here. .cradle, .idea. These are all project settings related folders. You don't have to worry about these. You will not interact with these most of the time. You will have to worry about this only app folder or Gradle folder, right? App folder is where you will be keeping all your mm, source and resources, right? So even I'm just showing you this Explorer, these all these folders to understand. You will not be dealing with this directly. You will be dealing with project structure always through the Android Studio. Manas is asking what is APK file. APK file is the output of your Android application. Like for Windows, it is .exe file. For APK is the is for Android, right? This is the file format of your Android application file. In app, you can see sources, main, in main you will see Java, com, the package folders, and then you will see the activities. Just try to explore this by yourself also. Going back, in main you will find another folder with the name of ris. Ris means resources. You will find all the resources here, other things here also, and Android manifest file also, right? So I was saying that you are not seeing everything that is available here. You can see here by changing the perspective. Right now you are seeing the Android perspective of the project structure. You can change it from here. You change it to project and it will start showing you everything. Now the project structure is changed. You can see everything here, right? But it's a little confusing for now because there are too many things and you can get overwhelmed with so many folders, so many files. Just focus on the only the important things here. You will have to play around with this and try this on your own to understand everything about this. Getting it? Okay. So let's see. Let's follow the slides. The project specific, there is a .idea folder. The project specific metadata is stored by Android Studio. Project module, there's app module, and then in module also there is a build folder. There is libs folder. Libs folder is generally used for the third party libraries that we are referring to. And then there is the most important one, that is source folder, where you will be keeping your Java files as well as your resources. Then there is a Gradle folder where you will be using keeping your Gradle system, build system related files, and then there is external libraries. We'll be coming back to, we'll keep coming back to this project structure time and again whenever there is need. So let's talk about Android manifest file again. I think I have a question. Rohit is asking about Gradle. Yes, we will talk about Gradle also. The only line I will say for now is Gradle is a build tool. Gradle is a build tool for your Android applications. What is a build tool? Build tool manages all the processes, all the steps related to or required in building and compiling your application. So there are actually in modern Android application or in any modern application for every operating system, there are a lot of steps involved in building, cleaning, and compiling that application to give a final output, that is APK file. So there are so many steps available. There may be so many combinations in which variable to use or which file to use or which file to exclude or what settings to use. There is a whole lot of complicated steps are involved, right? So to handle all those steps, there is a build system that is required. In Android, we use Gradle. And this Gradle build system, this Gradle build tool can be customized, can be modified using some script files. We'll be exploring that too. Adarsh is saying Gradle is like Maven, right? Exactly. I was refraining from using this term Maven because everyone might not aware of this term. Maven is also a build tool which is very famous for Java applications. Gradle is built over Maven only, but it's more flexible than that. Thank you for pointing out that, Adarsh. Gradle is just like Maven. Let's talk about Android manifest file. Android manifest acts as a metadata for Android application. Here we declare all the attributes of activity tags, permissions, services, broadcast receivers. Yes, we have seen what are activities. What are permissions? Whenever we will be using a critical feature, now focus on this. Whenever we will be using a particular critical feature like internet, like automatically sending SMS from your application, like automatically disconnecting call, like reading the contacts of your user from the Android device. All these features which are critical, which might compromise with users' privacy or users' private data or any other thing, which might incur any cost to the user. All these features which are deemed as critical to use these features in your application, you will be needing permissions. You will be needing permissions, right? So these permissions are required to be declared in manifest file. This is one of the main role of manifest file or main responsibility of manifest file. Every permission that you are going to use in your application, you will be using that permission in manifest file. Services services are what? Services are those lines of codes, or services are those components which are able to run in the background also. That means without any user interface. Even if, for example, uh, you want to you want to play a music in your in your application, even if your application is not running, even if your application is not in the foreground, you want to run your music in the background, you will be using a services. What are broadcast receivers? Broadcast receivers are those let's say broadcast receivers are those components, very important components, which can handle which can catch broadcasted messages from system. For example, your battery of the user came down below 15%. So in this situation, a broadcast will be fired system wide, right? So these types of broadcasts, or for example, an SMS has just come, right? So again, a broadcast will be fired. So if my application is interested in handling all the incoming messages, I will use a broadcast receiver to handle that incoming message. We'll be exploring that in a lot more detail later. I think that much introduction for these components is enough. So any activity, any permission, any service, any broadcast receiver which we are going to use in our application, we are going to do that. We are going to declare that in our manifest file. This is the manifest file. Let me show you that. You can add here also activity name. For example, you can create a Java class third activity. Now I am creating an activity by scratch. This is the third activity. This is the Java class I have created. I will extend it from app compat activity. Now it has become an activity, right? I will also create on create method here, which is required, which is necessary. Now it is done. Now I have to add this activity in the manifest file so that the application knows about it. Third activity I have added. That's it. How I would use a permission. This is how I would use a permission. For example, I want to use internet in my application, which is the case for every actual application. So I will be using internet like this. I will be using internet permission like this. Kevin is saying some applications automatically filling up OTP while making payment. Is it one example of broadcast? Exactly right. What they are doing, they are what they do actually, they catch the SMS incoming SMSs and read that incoming messages, right? For that, one permission will be required to read SMS, and you will have to add a broadcast receiver to catch that SMS, and you will also have to write some code, right? So yes, it is an example of broadcast receiver. Perfectly pointed out. Yeah, Gradle build. So far, any questions, guys? I have to point out here that today the session will run up to 12:30. There was, as I told you, there was a confusion that the session will start at 8:30. So I have another session after 1. So I will need a break before starting another session. So today today's session will run uh, today's session, our session will run till 12:30. After that, the timing will be usual. That will be 9 to 1, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Saturday and Sunday. No, today it is two sessions, right? From 8:30 to 12:30. I mean, what is your definition of one session? One session is one. The thing is, according to these sessions in dashboard, they are divided into 24 sessions, 2 hours each, and last four sessions are 1 hour each. So the total course duration is 44. Right, last four session which are project sessions, these are 1 hour each, and every other session is 2 hour each, right? So if we are going to have 2 hour class each day, we have to consume one session. If we are going to have 4 hours class, we are going to consume 2 hours, sorry, two sessions in each class, right? I should have started. I should have started this activity and UI session. In the after terminating this session, but that's okay. We can manage that, right? So that is a technical thing, but that doesn't matter. Rohit is saying, sir, you said that you will explain how to go to second activity through manifest file. Yes, I have not. Done completely with the manifest file because I haven't explained intent filter. This will come again, right? Okay, if you want that right now, let me just explain that. So intent filter, I have not covered this. What is intent filter? Intent filter is for intercepting intents, as the name says. Intent filter is for intercepting intents. We'll be covering intent filter in detail, yes, obviously later, but let me tell you one thing here is that why intent filter is declared here for first activity and why not for another activities, because this intent filter with the action main and category launcher, this means that first activity is going to be the main activity or the first activity, and second activity is going to be the launcher activity. Then now if I play the application, if I run the application, then first activity will be the second activity. I mean the main activity. The launcher activity will be second activity. That's the only thing, right? So intent filter plays the role here. It defines which activity is the launcher activity. Right, now I have changed. So this is the now as the application ran, the launcher activity is the second activity, which is empty, right? So by changing the intent filter, you can change the launcher activity of the application. Okay, any more questions, guys? Okay. Gradle build. The build process involves many tools and processes that convert your project into an Android application package. The build process involves many tools and processes that convert your project into the Android application package, that is the APK file. As pointed out earlier also, Gradle is the build system, or you can say build tool, that manages every step of your build operation, right? For example, as the diagram is depicting, application module has source code, resource files, and some other files like AIDL files, and some dependencies like library modules, AR libraries, and jar libraries. These are, we will cover jar and AIDL later. These are other libraries. These are all compiled using compiler, and then from compiler, these are converted into DEX files, and all the compiled resources are attached with DEX files to create APK file, final APK file. Right? So even these steps are involving a lot more minute steps. All these steps are handled by Gradle build system. Gradle build can be categorized into two parts: top level build file. The top level build.gradle file located in the root project directory defines build configuration that apply to all the modules in your project. So what is this Gradle build, which is project level? If I change this to Android again, these are the build scripts available. You can see two build.gradle files. One is for project, one is for module. If you see project related, project build.gradle, which is very simple, you cannot see anything here much, right? So this is your project level. Every configuration that is common to every module will be here. And build.gradle, which is for app, this is this has a lot of things, right? So in this build.gradle, you are declaring compile SDK version, build tool version, application ID, minimum SDK version, target SDK version, and a lot of other things and attributes. Build types, we'll see what is build types and build flavors, and dependencies. Dependencies are for inheriting or using third-party libraries. You will be using a lot of third-party libraries in your real projects. So every time you use a third-party library, you will be declaring a dependency for that in your build.gradle file. So module level build file, the module level build.gradle file located in each project slash module slash directory allows you to configure build settings for the specific module it is located in. Configuring these build settings allows you to provide custom packaging options such as additional build types and product flavors, and override settings in the main app manifest or to level build.gradle file. Okay. Uh, AVD, that means Android Virtual Device. An Android Virtual Device definition lets you define the characteristics of an Android phone, tablet, Android Wear, or Android TV device that you want to simulate. I mean, you can create any type of simulator. You can create a phone simulator, you can create a TV simulator, you can create a tablet simulator, you can create even a watch simulator. What do you do for creating a simulator for or emulator? You will go here in the AVD manager. Here in AVD manager, this is the list of already created emulators. You can create a new one, create virtual device. Here you can choose the type here. You want to create a TV emulator, you want to create a VR emulator, you want to create a phone emulator, you can choose any. Even in phones, you can choose any phones to simulate. Like I have chosen Nexus 5 or Nexus 5X or Nexus 6. Press next, choose the Android version, then again press next, and here you can keep the name and you can change the basic configuration, the default configuration of that particular device. Just try that out in your Android Studio and then you will press finish and it will be created. Guys, this today because we are saving some time here to cover all those topics, so I am not asking you to do anything by yourselves much, right? So you will have to do that as a homework. You will have to do everything that I'm doing here. You will have to do that as a homework. You will try creating a new project. First of all, everyone who has not installed Android Studio, you will be creating an Android Studio, installing Android Studio, sorry. You will be creating a new project. You will be creating new activities. You will use the start activity method to go to another activity. You will try creating buttons and text views in your layout files. And you will also create an AVD, that is an emulator, and run your application in that emulator. You will have to do all this, and I will check this tomorrow. An AVD is a virtual environment where you can run your application and can debug and test it. Other various AVDs where you can test and debug your applications are BlueStack, Genymotion, Real Device. Don't worry about this. Don't use BlueStack. I will not recommend it. Yes, you can use Genymotion. Genymotion is a third-party uh, AVD or simulator that you can use to run your application. You can go to the Genymotion website and download the Genymotion from there. It is free for individual developer to use. You can download that, install that, and use that. Right? Yes, real device definitely. If you have real device and you want to run your application on real device, that's okay. But for that, you will have to enable the real device and connect it to your Android Studio. How would you do that? First of all, if you are using Windows, you are not using Mac and Linux, you will have to install the device driver for that, right? After that, you will have to enable debug options or developer options. You can find that out how to enable developer options in your device by going to the settings. You can find all those steps from internet. Once if you are not able to do that, just ask me, I will guide through that. We have already seen how to run the device, run the application. Just give me a moment here, guys. Yes, supporting different languages, very powerful concept in Android. This is an unrelated one. This should not be placed here. Let me see what are all other things that are here. Okay, we should also follow the flow. So I will cover it here, right here. There is a concept supporting different languages or supporting different screens. Android supports many different languages. It is always a good practice to extract UI strings from your app code and keep them in an external file. Android makes this easy with the resource directory in each Android project. So what is this? In your Android project, you will always keep your all the strings there in a different file, which is called strings.xml. For example, here in the first activity, you have to keep a name, a title of the button. Click this, right? So you will not use this hard coded as it is in here. You will first define this string in this string XML like this, and you will use this button title string now here in that place like this, at the rate string button title, and in your UI also it will import that string. What is the usage of this? What is the uses of keeping strings in a different string file? Let's see that. Easy to maintain is one of the use. There are many other usages also. It's always a good practice to extract UI string from your app code and keep them in an external file. Android makes this easy with the resource directory in each Android project. To support different languages, first you need to decide the languages you will support in app, create the resource subdirectories and string resource files. So you will be doing like this. Right now you can see here is only one values folder for different languages. For example, you want to create your application in English, Hindi, Tamil, Telugu, and Kannada. You want to create your app available in every Indian local language, every famous language, right? So what you do, you will be creating strings for every language. For example, click this will be converted to click करें यहाँ दबाएं या something like that in Hindi. Let's use translate for that. इसे click करें, right? Now you have to use this in your application also, right? Whenever your user is whenever your users language is Hindi, your application will be converted automatically to Hindi. Kevin is saying in future if we want to change caption, we have to change it only at one place. Yes, this is one of the use, right. Kumar is saying and we can place different language strings files in different values folder to support different languages, right? This is the thing that I'm going to show. Now you will create a different values folder. Oops, no. New Android resource directory, values for night mode orientation, local, country code. This is not working properly. Yeah. Hindi. You can see here there are two folders now, values and values Hindi. Here you will be placing the string.xml file, the same string.xml file again, and in that strings.xml file you will change this, click this to Hindi equivalent, like this, right? Now you will install this. So what will be the effect of this is that when your user's system language, when your user's language of the phone is English from the settings, your application will be used. Okay, I will also have to change the first activity, launcher activity. Let me do that from the manifest file. I'm reverting back the intent filter to the first activity to make it the launcher activity. So right now by default, the system language, the phone language of my phone is English. So it will be showing the English button. Click this, right? Let me show this. It's just, yeah. Yeah, click this, right? Now, let me change the system language to Hindi. Here, from English, I will change it to Hindi. Yes, this one. Now let me open the app again. Now you can see everything is changed for in the settings app also everything is changed to Hindi, right? Let's open our own app now. My Fun app. Let's see what is the effect. Now it is changed to इसे click करें. Got it? Everyone got the point here? You might not remember every step that I have followed here. I will do that again. But this is very effective, right? So values Hindi. Now you have to create one more like values for another Indian language. You will create Android resource directory, values folder, locale. Locale means language here, and Tamil, Indian Tamil, and that's it. There is a values.tamil also created, and you can change. You can save the same string files there, and in the Tamil version of the strings.xml file, you will be now I have to convert it to Tamil, and I will copy this Tamil from here to here and install this again. And before installing it, let me change the settings of the language settings of the font to Tamil here. No, I will not do that because then I will not be able to revert it back to Hindi or English because I will not be understanding everything. So you have got the point, right? I will not have to do that. I remember doing that somewhere sometime back in my original phone, and I I really found it really hard to change it back to the English. So I'll not do it this now, right? Okay. Okay. So thing is, it is very, it is very powerful concept in Android. Just have you noticed by just doing many little simple changes, you can support your app in every language that you need to, right? So this is very powerful concept, right? Okay. So my project, yeah, this is how you will be creating different values folder for different languages. Add the string values for each locale into the appropriate file. At runtime, the Android system uses, yes, this is the thing. At runtime, the Android system uses the appropriate set of string resources based on the locale currently set for the user's device. Now, supporting different platform versions, this we will be doing in tomorrow's class. I think this is time to wrap up. Rohit is asking, we have to do this for everything separately. Yes, we will see tomorrow how to do this. Now, it was the thing that I explained you. This was for supporting languages. Now, for supporting different platform versions, we don't have to do much. We'll see. Everything is already set here. Kevin is saying some applications provide an option to choose language. In this case, how we can load particular string resource from file dynamically. We will have to change the configuration. Some applications do that. and after that they restart the whole application process. They restart the whole application process, and then when the new process is started, this will be changed. Everything will be changed automatically because they have changed the configuration. Okay, Rohit, you are asking about the language. Yes, you will have to do that for every language separately. That is the required thing, right? So tomorrow we will do this remaining topic of this slide, and then we will start another slide. Slide wise, we are, it may seem that we are running behind, but we have already covered many topics which are not even covered in the slides, right? And yes, to jumpstart, we take a more than expected time. We'll be working on activities tomorrow, and besides, we'll be covering intents and adapters tomorrow, right? I hope everyone has enjoyed this session, and it is also very beneficial, right? So let's see you tomorrow. Could you share your email ID? Kumar is asking in case we want to get in touch with you regarding any clarification. So this is my email ID I'm sharing. I may not, no, I have done that privately. Let me do that again. I may not be very prompt in answering every query, but yes, I try to answer every query, maybe in a day or 2 days time, right? Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Bye bye. See you tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow's session will be starting at 9, from 9 to 1. Uh, Vigneshwara is asking where I can find this recorded session. The recording will be available in around 2 or 4 hours in the in this in this dashboard only. Hopefully, you have got the access to this dashboard, right? You all should have the access to this dashboard, and when you click on this video tab, you will be able to access the video after 4 hours. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye. Okay, so one thing is that tomorrow, because technically tomorrow we will start from this session intent. So please join on this link, not on activity and UI, because we have covered an Android introduction and activity and UI. So please join from this session, right? The content will be the activity and UI, but technically we have to start on this. Okay. So thank you, everyone. Uh, Link, I cannot paste the link because you will have to start the sorry, you will to keep the record of your attendance. You will have to join the session from your respective dashboards. Okay, so just remember you have to join the session on intent. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye. Closing the session now. I hope you have enjoyed. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.